pandemic, Corona COVID-19, has been wreaking havoc far and wide. Business owners across the spectrum have been reeling under sinister influence of the pandemic. As business owners, are you worried about supply chain disruptions, management of work environment compelling employees to work remotely from home, tedious travel restrictions, daunting cash flow management, and shortages of key inventory driven by panic buying and avoidable stocking up? Yes, you are struggling with general market uncertainty and slowdown in demand, but not to despair. As bloom doesn't last forever, so will the gloom not last forever. Hi, I'm Chanakya Shah. Welcome to my YouTube channel of finance and business coaching. I'm a chartered accountant, entrepreneur, founder, and CEO of my outfit, Holistic Business Consulting. I have 15 years of professional experience and have serviced more than 500 diverse clientele. Today, I narrate to you a listicle to follow and repair the damage done by Corona. A detailed checklist can be downloaded by filling the form given in the description box. First point to consider are managing your finances and working capital. This is broadly divided into 5 parts. First, have you reassessed the normal operating cycle of your entity? The normal operating cycle of an entity represents the time between purchase of raw material and cash collected from debtors. Number 2, what is your working capital requirement? Here you need to look at, does your stock require a write-down? How much reduction in turnover is expected? Review the customer to whom you were supplying to assess the future order. Reassess the debtor payment cycle. Reassess what extra time can be obtained for payment to creditors. Can we postpone some payment of wages and salary and other statutory dues? Analyze availability of cash flow for next 3 to 6 months to sustain even in reduction of turnover. Assess gap funding required for 6 months to 1 year. Have you considered bill discounting? Do you see red flags in the credit payments to your supplier or customer who pays on credit? Have you considered obtaining a credit report from your customers and suppliers? Point number 3, do you need to improve your liquidity situation? Would you like to avail a loan? Have you considered the pari passu clause? Pari passu is a Latin word for equal footing. It's a financial arrangement that gives multiple lenders equal claim to the assets used to secure a loan. If the borrower is unable to fulfill the payment terms, the assets can be sold and each lender receives an equal share of the proceeds at the same time. Would you like to go for the benefit in availing relaxation on working capital by banks? Do you know your credit rating? Consider maintaining a good credit score which will help you get a better loan and better business. Have you considered asking your shareholders for equity infusion? Point number 4, are you aware about the credit support for MSMEs? RBI has allowed moratorium for a certain period. Kindly check the various benefits or relaxation given by RBI regarding your credit exposure. Government has also come out with sector-specific benefits and relief measures. Kindly go through the same and evaluate whether it is applicable to your business or not. Number 5, have you analyzed the financial statements and important ratios for decision making? Reassess crucial ratios such as working capital ratio, debtors turnover ratio, average collection period, creditor turnover ratio, and average repayment period, as well as stock inventory turnover ratio in pre-COVID as well as post-COVID period for remedial actions. Number 2 is entering the formal economy. 2 points to consider here are: A, have you registered your MSME with the Udyog Aadhaar website? Registering as MSME has benefits like recipient of goods or services from MSME is bound to pay within 45 days of such receipts. Registration is free. And second is, would you like to corporatize your MSME or convert it into an LLP? Benefits of LLP or corporatization are limited liability, separate identity from owner, and once your MSME is a part of the formal economy, you'll be able to get access to finance and to export at ease. Point number 3 is liquidity is the lifeline. This can further be divided into 5 parts. A. You need to prepare short-term, medium-term and long-term forecasts as per various scenarios and analyze which expenses could be reduced, such as traveling and marketing, which expenses could be saved, which could be the additional expenses, which operations or line of operations can be temporarily paused, which assets may not be purchased currently taking benefit of reduced price. Focus on products that provide more cash flow. Have you considered reducing your capex? Have you considered renting less building space as per your optimum needs? It is important to analyze how long the cash sources will last and consider availing financing accordingly. Point number 2. You need to take a sensitivity analysis or shock analysis to help prepare better for scenarios. Analyze the impact of loss of a major customer or supplier or the prospects of a drop in sales by a significant margin of say 20%. Prepare best as well as worst case scenarios. Consider the impact of COVID-19 returning again after a period of time. Consider the possibility of developing new customers. Even consider the possibility of developing new and lateral products. Point number 3. Are you worried about meeting fixed costs, including on leases? The most emerging challenge during lockdown period as well as in post-COVID-19 period would be meeting fixed costs. While this will be burdensome in absence of regular funds flow, the problem will be more intensified if banks or NBFCs create pressure on MSMEs for repayments of the dues. Negotiate rent agreements applying the force majeure clause, implying treating COVID-19 as an act of God. Consider lease break options. Explore payment deferrals. Explore lean manufacturing by sharing infrastructure like packaging facilities. Keep bankers informed of your efforts and look out for reliefs offered by state governments. Point number 4. Are you facing an escalation of product prices in the post-COVID-19 period? If yes, the need to represent with CBIC for reduction in GST rate or search for alternative vendor for continuity in supply of products. Number 5. Go lean. Use the optimal level of staff and other resources like water, electricity, gas, fuel, etc. Switch to more local suppliers. Identify inefficiencies. Waste recycling to reduce costs. Point number 4 is digitization, internal control, and risk management. This can further be divided into 5 parts. A. Have you assessed the weaknesses in your internal control which got highlighted during lockdown? Which internal controls are weak? Do you need to set up standard operating procedures in areas like approval and payments? Is your data secure at the time of remote working? B. Do you need to carry out a due diligence post the lockdown? Would you like to take a stock of your assets post-lockdown? Would you like to value your assets? Which assets may be sold off to raise cash? Point number C. Have you got your trademarks registered? It is important at this time to protect your intellectual property. Point number 4 or D. When did you last review your IT systems? Invest in cybersecurity. Be aware of scams, phishing, and cybercrime. Use current version of software. Use a good quality firewall. Take backup of data. Do frequent trainings on IT tools. Do virtual meetings. What percentage of your business is digitized? Do you use cloud-based accounting software? Point number 5. Have you taken insurance? Consider what your insurance policy covers. Does your insurance policy cover loss of business and insolvency? Are your assets covered? Is the health and life of the owner covered? Is the life of the employees covered? What additional insurance do you think your business would be better off taking? Now we look at the fifth and the last point, that is social distancing at workplace and taking care of employees. This can be divided further. Point number A. Have you thought about physical distancing of minimum 6 feet of your employees at workplace? Have you provided them with sanitizers, soap, and PP wherever required? Do you get the office premises sanitized? Do you ensure use of masks, sanitizing, and social distancing? Do you provide your employees with PP where needed? Have you rearranged the office furniture so that a distance of 6 feet is maintained between employees at workplace? Have you thought through staggered working hours and staggered meal timings? Second point in this is, are you allowing work from home to those who have the infrastructure to do so? Have you provided laptops and other IT equipment to your employees? Do your systems and processes need to change? Do you allow flexibility? Do your sick leave and vacation policy need to change? Have you considered giving leave to employees without pay? Third point here is, do you boost the morale of your staff? Involve staff by asking for ideas on how the business can succeed. Express faith in staff and keep in touch through virtual meetings and keep the morale up. Be transparent about the state of affairs of the company. If you still find yourself struggling for a better prescription, schedule a brief consultation meeting with us. Also, do not forget to download a detailed checklist from the link provided in the description box. I hope you like this video. If you're interested in this channel, make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you never miss out on any videos. Thanks again for watching.